Hello guys, welcome. Today is slightly different as I'm using the laptop today because both my iPad and iPhone or iPod or whatever you want to call it have both run out of charge. So it means I'm going to have to use some crappy quality to film this video, and this particular video is the Harry Potter rankings. Now I've already done one of these before, but that was for the films, so now I'm going to try and do it for the books, because I have actually already filmed a version of this, but I accidentally deleted it, so that means I'm going to have to sacrifice itself to make a really crappy quality video. I mean, apologies about the quality, it's not the best, but you know, at least you can still see me, and you can still practically hear my voice, sort of. But so let's get straight into it. So this is from with worst to best. So the seventh one that I really do not like. Well, it's not that I don't like it. It's just way too long, and you probably guessed already what it is, and it's Order of the Phoenix. Now, look how long this is. It's ridiculous. It took me bloody about 1.5 months to read, which was a nightmare. I mean, it's not that. There's a few good bits in it, but it's just way too long. I don't know what it is about this book that makes it just so long. It's just really annoying, and to be honest, I don't know, just really gets on my nerves how lengthy this book is. And I didn't read these books in order, by the way. I know I should have done, but I don't know why I didn't. Maybe I read the first one first, and then I think I read Goblet of Fire, and then I read Order of the Phoenix, and then I read Prisoner of Azkaban. Then I read no, actually, I don't know. I can't remember the order that I read them in. It wasn't chronological anyway. So, yeah, Order of the Phoenix is being placed at number 7 because, to be honest, I particularly find this book really quite annoying to read, or annoying to have read, because it's just dragged and dragged. And to be honest, there could have been a lot of things in this book that could have been, you know, cutting out. I mean, it could have easily been reduced to the length, say, of Goblet of Fire, because that wasn't too long. So yeah, I mean, it's still an okay book, I suppose. There are some good. The film isn't really that great either. I don't particularly like that. If you've seen my rankings for the films, you will know that it's not particularly my bag. So that puts Order of the Phoenix at number 7. Now we move on to number 6 with, let's have a look, Goblet of Fire. Don't get me wrong, this book is very good. It is a very good book, but there are some few boring bits in it, like at the beginning when doing the Dark Mark, and Hermione's obsession with looking after the elves is just a bit annoying. I'm not saying, like, I mean, if they were real, I mean, I'm not going to say they should continuously being harmed. I'm just saying that J.K. Rowling just overdosed it a bit. But yeah, this book is it's good. There's a fantastic moments in it, like the Quidditch match is very long and very well detailed. But I just don't particularly. I mean, I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed it. But I mean, yeah. I mean, I wish this book would have gone onto a higher place. But obviously, there are books which I just prefer to this. But if you haven't read this book, go and read it because it is very good. Next we've got the second one, well, just the fifth one in the rankings, and it's Chamber of Secrets. I have the audio CD of this, and I have read it as well. Because I've listened to the audio CD like countless times. Every time we go on holiday, we put it in the car, and we just listen to it because it is really enjoyable. So yeah, Chamber of Secrets. It's a good book. I mean, I think some people have said that they find it quite long, but I think it's actually quite a good pace. Obviously, it's not as thick as Order of the Phoenix, which is good, because I could have easily imagined this book being as thick as that. And there are more events happening in this than there were in bloody Order of the Phoenix. But yeah, this is a very good book. It's a good story. I like all the things that happen in it. There's a lot of things that happen in this. The story's good. The story is very good. And the film of this I really quite like, although some people say it is quite slow. But I didn't find it that slow. I mean, if you found that slow, then there's an extended edition available on the Ultimate Editions, so you might probably don't want to watch that, but I love the extended edition anyway. But yeah, this is the book. So yeah, it's a good book. I might get the re-release sometime, although I feel that I really don't need to because this book seems perfectly fine. Or maybe if there's a time when I decide to sell all the originals and get the re-releases, and I might just do that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, this is good. It's a good book. Next one is one that the first one I ever read, and you probably guessed what it is now. And yeah, it's the Philosopher's Stone in fourth place. This book is very good. It's a very fairy, wary story, written by J.K. Rowling, of course, who's the actual author of the series. Because obviously the film was directed by an American director known as Chris Columbus. Yeah, it's a good book. It's quite a good story actually. Because obviously during the time now this is in there, the characters are children, so Ron, Harry, and Hermione are children in this. But yeah, it's alright. It's good. I love this book. It's really quite enjoyable. I've got the audiobook of this as well. Read by Stephen Fry, but I've got it in tape form, so not in CD. But yeah, it's a really enjoyable book. I really enjoyed reading this. So if you haven't read it and you want to start in the Harry Potter series, just go and read it because it's really quite enjoyable. And so yeah, just read it. It's good, and you might want to get the re-release as well because the re-release of this is quite nice. I quite like this re-release. It's very good. This isn't a sticker, by the way, but yeah, it's good. It's a very enjoyable book. So that puts Philosopher's Stone at fourth place. And now we move on to fifth place with Deathly Hallows. Now, I think a few people would have put this possibly at either number 2 or number 1, or maybe even number 3, I don't know. But yeah, I was so obsessed with reading this when we went to Cyprus, I think it was. I took it everywhere I went, and I just kept on reading it for hours and hours and hours. I took it to the swimming pool. I took it to restaurants. I took it to the lobby. Oh, I sound like an American. The waiting room. I just took it everywhere because it was so good, and it wasn't. I read this not long before I watched the film, which I thought was very good because I watched the film last night because I wanted to review that soon, and I have made a few notes for it, so that's good. Yeah, the book is fantastic. The battle is a lot more epic in the book, personally, because the Deathly Hallows Part 2 film was quite short. But it's a good pace. But I'll talk about that later in the review. But yeah, if you haven't read this, then probably read them in order would be better. But if you've read them all, if you read them up to book 6, you're in for a treat with this. I mean, it does get a bit boring in the middle, but you know, it's a good book. It gets a lot better towards the end. Trust me, it really does. But if you haven't read it, go and read it because it is bloody enjoyable. So that puts Deathly Hallows in third place. And now that means we have only 2 books left. And if you haven't been keeping track of the order, don't worry, that's fine. Now we move on to number 2 with Prisoner of Azkaban. Now, this is quite a few people's favourite book of the Harry Potter series. It is a very good book. It's so easy to read. It's ridiculous. The cover, the re-release of this is very nice because my original release, well, it was alright, but it just had a bit of yellow page age onto it. But yeah, just read this book. It's very good, and it's got a fantastic story, fantastic set of characters, and they're just really well written. I mean, this is one of my favourite books ever. And it is very good. So yeah, just go and buy it. It's good. It's very good. I love the characters Lupin, Remus Lupin. I think he's a really cool character. Because obviously you find out a lot more about him in this book. But I won't ruin it for what he is. You'll just have to find out for yourself unless you've already seen the film. But yeah, just go and read it. It's a really enjoyable book. It's just really easy to read. It didn't take me that long to read it. I think maybe 2 weeks was it that I read this in. Yeah, it's pretty easy to read. So just go and buy it. It's good. It's very good. In fact, it is very, very, very good. Not just good, very good. So yeah, just go and read it because it's bloody enjoyable. So that puts Prisoner of Azkaban second place. Now we have only 1 book left, and of course that book just has to be the one and only Half-Blood Prince. Some people may say this book might drag a bit, but this is in fact my favourite book of the Harry Potter series. I just love everything about it. Even the cover is just pretty epic, and I love the film. The film is brilliant. It's quite a very dark book. The characters are very well written. I managed to finish this on the plane, which is I set myself a challenge to try and finish it on the plane, and I succeeded, which is good. So yeah, I took this on a school trip to Sorrento, I think it was. Yeah, and it is very good. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. Because again, the same with Deathly Hallows, I took it everywhere I went pretty much. Whenever we had a break or whatever, I sat down and just read it. Because it's really enjoyable. And this is the last Harry Potter book that I ever read. Because, like I said before, I didn't read them in order, which is a bit stupid, but it's just a brilliant book. I love, what's his name, Slughorn, but he's quite different in the books to the films, because he's quite, J.K. Rowling describes him as a fat person. Well, not, she doesn't say that in the book, but the way she describes it is a large human being. But yeah, just go and read it. It's very good. You know, just go and buy it and tell me what you think. So that's my Harry Potter rankings. You know, sorry about the quality. It's really not standards of my other videos. Well, the quality of my other videos. So this is the second rankings video I've done. So tell me what you think, guys. Tell me what you think about my rankings videos. Check out my first one, which is of the films. I've got a really itchy nose. Apologies about that. But yeah, just go and watch that video if you like. Tell me what you think about this video, and I shall see you next time for maybe, I don't know what I'm gonna do next. Yeah, just tell me what you think, and I shall see you next time. So take care and bye for now.